Tell me how technology and travelers' habits today, as they change, how have they influenced your strategy in marketing and tailoring your service to your guests?
Another interesting question. It's a great commercial on TV right now, and I don't know what the name of the firm is, but there's a guy and he's sitting at a meeting and he hears some word. Maybe it's Google, the word he hears. So he runs back to the office and he calls a meeting. He goes, hey, we got to get on this Google thing. So everybody meets, and in 9 or 10 months, they have this Google thing up and running, and he runs into the guy who heard it from first. He goes, hey, I've got the Google thing running now. The guy goes, oh, good, we're done with that now. We've moved on from that. We're on to another thing. So it's a great commercial, but it's not about Google, but that was just the word I used. But it's a great commercial because technology is this incredible moving machine that none of us can keep up with, particularly in our business. And you don't want to be a guinea pig, and you don't want to be trendy, but you want to be relevant with everything that you're doing. So in the technology area, you know, in 2000, when we got in the boutique hotel business, I'm a branded guy. We're branded guys. We got in the boutique hotel business because we thought e-commerce would change what we do. And you know, back then we judged the brands by how many reservations we got from their 800 number. Now, 2014, I don't know the last time anybody that I know used an 800 number to make any kind of reservation. In the year 2000, as a company, we got less than 5% of our reservations through e-commerce in one way or another, and less than 5% of that 5% through our own websites, even if we had one. Last year as a company, in 30-something hotels, we got in the mid-70% of our reservations through e-commerce, and 70% of that through our own websites. That's not because we're so clever. That's the changing of the art of the way people make reservations today. So, one. Two, if you go into most hotels today, if you remember, there was a big company out there called LodgeNet. We used to buy our movies in the hotels from them.
Yeah, I do.
And you stay in a hotel room and you look up your movie and you pay $23 or whatever it was. And by the way, when you check out, you denied that you had that movie, so you wouldn't have to pay for it. But that's what happened. Today, people bring in their own movies. They're streaming their own videos.
Sure.
What's more important than having movies in the room is having a speedy enough and wide enough internet to make sure they can stream all their own stuff. So that's changed what we do. There's a whole world out there of trying to make your stay, all about you, and we do all of that today with telephone gadgets, all the things that we do to let somebody make their reservation through their telephone, check in with their telephone, unlock their room with their telephone, get their spa appointments with their telephone. I mean, in the last 15 years is a long time, but certainly the last 5, it's changed, and the next 5 is going to change again. So it's had a huge impact on what we do. And when you're an independent hotel, to be able to have that kind of hardware and software, the costs are unbelievable, and then to have the expertise in-house to do it is also another interesting part of what we do. So to be in the independent lodging sector is very difficult, because if you look at the brands and the kind of expense and IT that they have going for them in today's world, it's hard to compete. So you have to pick what you're going to do from an IT standpoint, and hopefully you pick the right things, because none of us really know. None of us really know what's the next big thing that's going to work. You know, TripAdvisor is an interesting, it's technology. Technology. TripAdvisor is today's comment card, except it's today's comment card for everybody to see. And in the independent world, it's very interesting, because people didn't used to stay at independent hotels in America a lot because they weren't sure. They weren't sure if they were safe. They would stay. The old Holiday Inn was no surprises. They may not love a Holiday Inn, but they stayed there because they felt, you know, they knew what it was going to be like. Sure. Well, today you can go on TripAdvisor, it'll tell you what it's going to be like. So it took that away, but now we've all figured out how to manage TripAdvisor. So everybody does well with TripAdvisor, so there's obviously going to be another generation of the next step of TripAdvisor, whatever that might be. So technology is massive in what we do, It's how people make reservations. It's how people judge their stay. It's how people critique the hotels. It's how people live their lives. So it's had a huge impact on us. And the other part of it that we all talk about that none of us are quite sure is social media. You know, social media is this big thing. You got to have a Facebook. You got to be on Twitter. None of us have been able to figure out what its impact is. There's never been a financial study that says, hey, if I'm on Facebook, what does it mean to me? What does it really mean to me? Yeah, they'll tell you we get reservations and so forth and so on, but we're not sure. So technology is a huge area, certainly in this sector. There's going to be difficult to pay for, going to be difficult to decide what's going to work or not, what's not going to work, and last but not least, to get the talent within our kind of companies to run this stuff is a whole nother world as well. So technology has a huge impact on what we're doing. Huge.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Very interesting insights. Richard, thanks for joining us today. Appreciate it. Andrew Benioff for Lenrock Blog and the Independent Lodging Congress, thank you for joining us.